And Dr. Dre, we all know him as one of the best producers in the world and everything, but when they first came around in the old days when they was getting up with Lonzo, you know, DJ Yella was the DJ. And what Lonzo did that people didn't know too much about, but what he done to change the game or alter the playing field was that he came up with the idea of, we should take the DJ out the booth and put him on stage so people could see the DJ. And once they did that, that opened the door for people to see the work, the scratching and all the stuff the DJs is doing and mixing. People were more blown and caught into the show. It made it part of the act. So Dre seeing that was like, bet. So him and Easy E came up there together. They weren't dressed to get in the place. And Lonzo and Easy got into it because Easy wasn't gonna change. That was just his style. He was just not gonna change looks, hats, or whatever. But Dre went and changed. He came in there the next day, and his thing is he wanted to battle DJ Yella. So when he came in there, he was like, man, and the club is in a dangerous name. Like El Segundo, the that it's been renamed the Loft now, but that place, it's like a banquet hall now. That place used to jump off every night, and Yella used to dress in all this crazy like military stuff with rhinestones. And he had crates of records. And Yella had all these different tunes. So he had a style about him. And his style was unique. And Dre was like watching his style, like, all right, but I know how to, really get the crowd going. So when Dre had his set and he went up there and did his thing, him and Yella ended up becoming best friends, even though he came in there like, I want to battle you. like rappers do. Like he want to battle him DJ to DJ because he wanted to take his job. So that's what made it crazy. Like this dude's not really trying to come after my job. So Yella and Dre ended up talking, and once they came in there, they worked, found out how, each other are, it's like, oh, okay. As DJ to DJ, and they sharpened each other's skill. You know, Dre really wasn't all into like, man, let me get this chick, this chick. That came later. The chicks was just something secondary. Yella cared more about that than anything in the world. So that was Yella's whole thing. Like, man, let me do this. Because this is more important to me than anything. You know what I mean? That's what Dre was like, let me do this music because this is more important. So when he was doing that, Dr. Dre, it's time. But they was doing all that scratching his time and all that stuff. Dre was the one that was really pushing that level. Like, we got to push this. This the music of the culture and all this. He had the idea and the mental fortitude to know this could really change things. Like this, I want more than what's on the table. Like he wants to see in the future. And Dre just needed somebody who knew how to find the type of records that'll make it work. So it's very unique. So when Dre, as great as he was, and he's doing his set, Dr. Dre's in the house. Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre. When he was doing his Dr. Dre and his cutting and his mixing, he for Dre to be great, he needed to have that guy who understood music. Dre's a great beat producer and maker and all that stuff, but what he adds to it, all the little extra things that he add to it to make the beat jump out, he still need that person to go and find those records to bring him the type of records he want to hear. He could do this on his own, but it's just gonna make the process much, much longer. So Yella job is Yella and Dre had been around each other so much, he knew the sound. Like, I know what Dre's looking for. I know how to get this to Dre. I know how to get that for Dre. I know this Dre would want this. So it made the process a lot better. It made the whole process sharper when they could bring it on that fortitude and put it on that level. So it made it jump. And they turned it up, man. They turned it out everything. And when they split, he wanted Yella to come with him because he know how vital Yella was. And when Yella decided to stay with Easy, the only person that really, that gap that Dre needed, he needed to have his ear, and that's when Warren G came in the picture. And when Warren came around more, and he was pushing his group 213, Warren was the type of guy that was more helping with Dre and the Chronic than anything. That's why when Warren G album came out, everybody like, man, these beats are nice. Like, this is like another Chronic, except for it's different. It's not Parliament. The Chronic was mostly the Parliament album. That was it. People just got reintroduced to Parliament. They've heard these songs when they were kids. Now they hearing it again. Now they just got rap over it. And it's got a little extra to it. And that was Dr. Dre. But the records that they was choosing for some of the beats, the other songs on there, what's his name was picking them out. He had his brother, Warren G. They would go run and get the record. And he was working on the records with him. And then when he didn't get a Death Row jacket, and everybody else got a Death Row jacket, and then they flew off and left Warren G at home. That's when, he felt like, man, I'm about to go home and cry. He's like, I almost did go home and cry. All the work he did helping them, and he's like, man, Snoop, Warren, Nate Dogg, all them, they signed, they flying off, and Warren just left behind. Just made him work harder. And that's how Regulate came out. So just interesting times of things that had happened back in the day that helped carve the foundation of what we at today. Because believe me, if it wasn't for those dudes with a vision and working as hard as they did back then and having the passion to keep going, Dre wouldn't be a billionaire now. You wouldn't have those Beats headphones probably. So, it's just the extra drive. People have an extra motivation about them that you don't see or they pay attention to. You just think it just happens overnight, but no, it's persistence and a lot of work. So you gotta have the love for it and the passion. You don't have the love and the passion, it's not gonna work for you. Just letting you know right now. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out.